I'm at Central Market eating. Got myself soup, crackers, and dessert. For now, financially stable when we return this way. I plan to travel with Miami people. Ideally, Panama. What else? What else? I'm excited about them. Anyways, if they're all so in tune with their feelings, I must never interrupt them. Mira esto. That's their significant other. Very in tune with their feelings. What else? What else? Another one that's very in tune with their feelings. Oof. I'm sticking to that sanity for everyone that stays for me, everyone that gets in the way of receiving money, everyone that stays in my home without my permission, and everyone that steals my vehicles. It's May 28th, 2025. I'm born. What else? They're stupid. They don't know how to gauge intelligence, and they're aggressive. So they literally want to show how they extract semen out of the penis. And be like, te tengo que enseñar este video para que sepas cómo hacerlo tú. I have no interest. They see people smiling at an orgy and they're like, ya están casados for life. Yeah. They're cockblockers even during orgies. They're embarrassing themselves and they still haven't grown up. They see people that like each other and they're like, no, 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 no. En la próxima orgía tú te le trepas a ella. Estas todas se le trepan al otro. Esta se le trepa a ella. Esta se le trepa a él y ya, ya, ya. Ya no se vuelve a enamorar de esa, ya no la vuelve a ver. Dale, chica. Or dale, chico. They're disgusting. They're stupid. They attend orgies just to gossip and see who is falling in love for them to separate. When people are possibly just keeping their feelings neutral, smiling about something else, they're embarrassing. They rape, they steal my homes, they get in the way of me receiving money, raping Ika Jandel, someone that I'm not attracted to, thinking that because when I was a little kid, just because that he and I smile or I smile at him, that he and I are bound to marry. They're disgusting. They're embarrassing. They think that I'm gonna let myself get raped by them just to save Jandel from what? They watched way too many telenovelas when they were little, apparently. What else? I'm bored. I found out about the drama film. What else? What else? That's why they steal from me. They're hoping that that happens in the United States. They're embarrassing their sorrows. Pero por essa pipa, tanto que no marketing degree sa ilong nila. Does she not have it? Her mom laughs like, Nina, her marketing degree. Good thing that you didn't go on talking to Kambaka Kadosian. She fakes having a marketing degree, and when you talk to her behind the scenes, she rapes you. Possibly. What else? What else? What else? What else? Nangungasko. You can decapitate me. I mean, sort of sons that rape me, that steal my money, that get in the way of me receiving money. You can decapitate everyone that stays in my homes without my permission, that steals my vehicles, that gets in the way of me receiving money, that steals my money, that steals my lingerie, that's brand new, and wear them and leave them dirty, supposedly, including the penises. Leave them dirty in my home as an act of terrorism so I can get my belongings. Or so I can't enter my own homes. They're disgusting. They think that they're intimidating the royal palace and Buckingham. They stealing from me. They're on drugs like 24/7. I don't know what that is. What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. When I'm financially stable, I plan to travel and meet people I dated for years. I'm excited. What else? Who's gifting me money? And suddenly my GoFundMe got paying to people. Through Instagram. Usually, what they do, who reported the UN, is them trying to intimidate people as to don't give Arlene money, and then people are like, well, then I'll save my money and not give any to you. It's happened before. He's killed people in Gaza before because I gave a compliment to Palestinian men and women decades ago. So that happened. True story. He went on to say, save your money, don't give any to Arlene. Yeah, your meat may start costing more. People are like, well, then I won't give your money to you. Good idea. They're embarrassing. They're so gross. Did he have a car run over Richie just for me feeling attracted to Richie when he was a kid? Or Richie was congratulating me that I never think about them. Whatever his name is, it could be Richie Hill. Maybe that's a joke amongst the Lorenzos of the system. What else? What else? What else? What else? Richie Hill. What else? 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 I don't remember anything about them. Ever think about them. He's very pretty. Why don't you rate me in 2023? And he could be truly a victim that they're trying to kill him and they steal from him and stay him in his homes without his permission. He doesn't want to get home. So that he doesn't suffer from home invaders like me, he may have anxiety. What else? What else? What else? What else? That was decades ago. They went through with a hate crime towards me. I never think about them. Ever. Ew. What else? This is so good. Who's gifting me money today? What else? 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 What else do I need to do? People that don't talk to me and are keeping me on track. Who else do I need to say to that one to? Or is that like the last of it? When one remembers that has been drugged, and even though Obamas may have been there, sign off for we're gonna be to talk to people and then we when you're there, no, it's not even participate. But I know that should have never be the one. If that's what they're saying, that's what they're saying. I don't ever want to find out what it is that they're saying. How does this cake taste so much? So, what else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. I'm going to shopping down tomorrow. Get them in money. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. There's people in Miami that guess $100 for fees. You can get fees with that. Fencing, sasona, blah blah blah. So, what else? There's possibly a nationwide that does it. But they're gonna try. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm gonna keep doing this, asking people to give me money, or exposing the people I'm abusing until I finish. And then I'll just expose them like maybe once a year. With the content that I already have, no new one I won't ever see again. Unless someone tells me specifically that look at this and it's true and I feel the need to share it or just feel the need to share it with me. He created 20 plus years of content of how he steals my money for me to see and kill myself, but why? He's a bigot. I'm bored. I'm bored. And I never think about it. I didn't even remember their names. They're lazy. They want like whoever is around them in close proximity and to put their penises in the home, regardless if that person is raping it or not. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. Oh, and they wouldn't be able to have a relationship with me because I'm polyamorous, and then they would have to respect anyone that I would have introduced to them. Eso pasa en la gente. Pero I met him yesterday y ya hoy me grabé a todos los hermanos and you have it. Like, who talks about that? Literally, Berlin Jean. I didn't even want to meet her. And she's like, oh, I had sex with him and now I've had sex with all his brothers and you have them. Ew. So terrible. See, I'm like, you all talk about me to people like that? Ew. Why? I was constantly in my parents' home reading the newspaper, eating or watching a show. Wow. No, so no, so no. I'm bored. I'm bored. I want to financially stable. Turn my nails. Even if those are travel and people dealing with their sleep. Wow. I refuse to see who they try to bring to me. They're embarrassing. They band together with people trying to see who they can find. Ew, when there's Tinder, there's Bumble, there's outings, there's celibacy. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. What else? So I've been laughing at them for the past 5 years specifically. I didn't remember Berlin Jean. With all my information that gets reported as much younger by my parents. Be back from meeting him. What else? I'm gonna stay at a hotel today. And order room service. He thought that I would talk to La Comba so you know chiquito, then people won't notice you there, know that I steal your money, and maybe they'll call the cops. Why don't you end the picnic and start singing for drugs instead? Maybe no one there will notice you. Then people are like, no, if you see them, the picnic. Y porque everything else was cerrado. No tenía agua. And out of respect of the people that crossed them, have created it without the intention of people turning it into un punto de droga. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Adults that count. Three. And still, what? How old is she? Like a year or two older than me, trying to kill people. What? And then they acquired groupies that weren't even there. What? exonerate myself every single social media through my acts. I exonerate myself every single time if I could. Someone at the east before who put the knife in my hand decades ago. And that just what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? And Lord, what? And Lord, what else? I missed it. I missed it, mommy. I'm bored. Yep. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? People that were even born during those times, they acquired your place, their sons. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm seeking the death penalty for everyone that steals from me, everyone that stays in my home without my permission. Disgusting. What else? What else? What else? I miss Jayden. I miss my mom. What else? Yeah, they talk about me. They're like, ¿y cuándo se casa con John? Huh? Ew, ew, ew. Y como que ni un beso le dio a Andrew cuando lo vio en la biblioteca. These people attend orgies to talk about people. They're embarrassing. They're the worstest of the planet, like quite literally. Ew, that was so. They're embarrassing. Ew, ew, ew. I've heard. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I've heard of these people that they get invited to orgies and they're fighting, promoting Catholicism. Saying those two were like too nice to each other, we need to separate them. Ew, 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 ew. I'm bored. Who's gifting me money? I need to charge my phone. There's snoopers. There's stalkers. They're disgusting. They, they're disgusting. They're embarrassing. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. Who's gifting me money today? What? I'm seeking the death penalty for everyone that stays in my homes without my permission. I'm seeking the death penalty for everyone that steals my vehicles. I'm seeking the death penalty for everyone stays, that steals my money. I'm seeking the death penalty for everyone that gets in the way of me receiving. I'm killing Jennifer Muddy Vasquez in self-defense one day for stealing my vehicle, getting in the way of me receiving money and stealing my money. And I went on should be. Did he put his own money into it? Then he shouldn't have taken me hostage and raped me there. Como que era en la I may have printed what he was. I can't even remember. Either way, he's drugged me, he's raped me many times. They're disgusting. Ew, 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 ew. Hay una basura en everyone near me. What else? What else? What else? What else? The FBI knows what I just did to them. You can decapita everyone that steals my money so I don't have to steal my apartment so I can date. What else? What else? What else? What else? Se quedan casados con la basura just because they've been together for so long. I've heard. I think they even have relatives that made that mistake. Decades ago. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. They do drugs together. And I know what incompatibility is. He doesn't even respect himself. What else? What else? What else? And that was so. What else? The girl could be a liar. I didn't even find her that attractive if she's alive. So they're stalkers, they're so gross, they're embarrassing. Who's gifting me money today? What else? What else? What else? I'm tired. What else? Who's sending my girlfriend? Those people that I drove around fight over toilet paper and stories. So I told you that she's a slob, and that's why I rape you, honey. Doesn't count porque I exposed her. Like I couldn't clean today my apartment because I'm extremely tired. And I'm like, 200 something. Well, Jennifer sacó un 4, asquerosidad, las dos. And they're like, I'm not one. Da un asco. Da un asco. Ew, so many da un asco. Ew, ew. I'd rather be so. And when I'm financially stable, well, Jennifer Bonilla, Jennifer Mari Vasquez, even Iris Gonzalez among a few people stalked me and tried to offer them a bucket. Asquerosidad, y digo, prostitutes. That's why I don't talk to them privately. Thereafter, who have I been on a date with through Bumble or Tinder or by just meeting? Ew, 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 ew. That one is cool. You can decapitate Jennifer Vasquez. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez and his sons that rape me, that steal my money, that get in the way of me receiving money. You can decapitate Jenny Jandalita Suarez. You can decapitate Jennifer Bonita. They're sex addicts, they're porn addicts, these dicks, ew. So they support the grossness, loyal to it, even if it rapes them. They're bears, they're not men ever. Deck is like, oh, what else? What else? What else? What else? I should apologize. I want to watch TV today. Let's get TV money today. What else? Hi, my love. I'm calling to say hi, and I love you. I'll call you tomorrow. Bye. What else? What else? What else? What else? Hi. Bye. What else? What else? What else? I missed you. Who's gifting me money today? I want to stay at the Thompson, the HEB, the IHG would be good. Maybe the Kimpton. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? The AC Hotel would be fun. That location. It's near library. Royal Blue Grove. What else is there? What else? 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 I'm bored. I'm bored. You can receive money. This disgustingness, el Anthony Capisano is to not take me to hotels for him to have a chance at raping me is disgusting. To what Edgar said that he couldn't do that, that's not gonna not take me to a hotel. And I also know my rights. What else? What else? What else? What else? Oh, it's a local dice based on una telenovela que vio. It's like I can kill her. I know my rights. I was arranging a marriage with her. Stupid. Ew, they're very violent. They're very dumb. They're disgusting. They think that that gets hot and heavy sex. Ew, they're porn addicts. They're gross. Ew, 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 ew. You can decapitate everyone that gets in the way of me receiving money. You can decapitate everyone that steals my money. You can decapitate everyone that steals my vehicles. You can decapitate everyone that stays in my homes without my permission. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez and his sons that rape me, that steal my money, that get in the way of me receiving money. They're trying to facilitate my. They're trying to put me on a wheelchair so that my siblings bathe me as if I'm a little child. Because the last time that I reciprocated, I was a toddler. So my siblings possibly gave me about around the age. That's him violating my rights. I plan to take myself to Cabo alone next year without him ever. I'm not his for him to toy around with. He's disgusting. He's a terrorist. So I understand that people are taking their sweet damn time in gifting me money. What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. Traffic me into my parents' car. What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. Who's gifting me money today? Who is gifting me money today? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm so bored. What else? I want to shop at H&M later. H&M.com. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They want me to stress over money because they're poor. The higher her heart rate is. They're disgusting. They're the I want a cookie. What I want to not have a phone. What else? Where did I read that it doesn't have a phone? And it's there. Doesn't sound like a great idea. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Where did I see the other day? I'm bored. So they've been talking about me for 20 something years through what is it, Kick, Messenger, Snapchat, text messages, Blackberries, letters. About what? Ew, ew. Oh, I never think about that. Anyway, there's a saying, I think more about food than I ever think about them. Like for real, food keeps my mind very occupied. Like right now, I want to try a few recipes. I need a clue. As I read earlier that the river walk looks slightly flooded. What else? 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 I'm bored. I'm bored. Who's gifting me money? I need clothes. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. There's fudge and Antonio. I was here just on Broadway from home. Oh, I forget that it's just like that close to it. The Smith family into sharing chocolate with people. What? What else? That's so cute. What else? That's cute. We're trying to. What else? What is the cowboy fudge? You, if that's your specialty, it does. What? Google's the recipe and some pictures. Some days looking at cowboy food from other places. Books it's look at that. It is a thing. Just, San Antonio Fudge Company. What else? What else? I am bored. What else? When I'm financially stable and plan to travel to planet. And meet people, ideally polyamorous men. I'm excited. And I take Jayden and Keilany to Formentera. What else? What else? What else is gifting me money? I haven't been turning my own sandwiches since 2019. I used to visit every year. Instead of them like a little what else? So banda es que usted no lo puede matar ella misma. Or she's that's to be hilarious if they put her in that position. Like, bien mata y ya coge pago. And they don't learn what it's kind of like taking this alcalde and saying that there's a process of what home ownership is, what he can stay in, if he's invited as a guest, if it has his name in the title, truly along with like some identifiable that it's him, not any Andres Garcia. I mean, Andres Suarez. Como quiera, se robó en la casa de uno, lo apuntaron en la escuela. Allí dicen Hardy también. They recited to people. They're like, well, if you want a home, you head over here, here. El crimen incluido. Les llaman a eso. And people are like, you can't be staying in people's homes without their permission. They're embarrassing. They're so gross. Anyway, ya me canso. Escuchar de este caso is possibly what a lot of people in Puerto Rico say. Like, sí, mi caso es la artera que me dio con mousse de chocolate. Cowboy is not the first time that I Google it. The cowboy fudge. I can't go to me. Whatever he's watching. What? What? And I'm positive can figure out how to use it and then I want to. I don't like those things. I like it for its aesthetics. So I'm networking here, seeking people that will kill the people and stay in my homes without my permission. Kill my vehicles, get in the way of receiving information. I didn't even remember their names in 2020. I just said I'm not gonna have over to any group chat with my family of origin where they would reintroduce me to esos nene con la camisetita de rayita de mi salve. What else? What else? What else? This is good for this. For real. Like, I'm busy, people. I'm busy. What else? 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 Well, that soon before I even started crying. What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. Oh, is that to the people that are gonna kill those people in self-defense for me? Like, get ready, people. Okay, who's to say that that's specifically for me? What else? 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 So I missed my deadline to kill me. Permitless open carry was technically allowed from June 20th, the day after my birthday, 2015 to November 6th. Like, nena, ya no me mami ya mismo va a necesitar cótex. What else? What else? What else? What? Ir acá robando, te están robando tu casa y la casa de ella, ir a casa del nene. Yeah. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. In the meantime, I'm here for the song Cowboy Fudge. I'm bored. I'm bored. What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. What else? You can decapitate Michael Lopez. This stays in my home without my permission. You can decapitate a Veronica Reyes, que dan asco. Que se quedan en mi casa. Me roban vehículos. I had at least 4 BMWs by 1999 that I've yet to drive, and those people drove them because they gave her a blowjob. And he thinks that I'm gonna take him out on a date. Ew, 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 ew. So what he's trying to do is persecute me. He's a bigot, trying to kill me because Gloria Nirsa had me in toddler exploration. So he wants to recreate the disgust that he has of me, having him see me from mouth to mouth, vagina to penis also. ¿Qué carajo le tiene que importar a mi dignidad? That's something for me to savor or savor. El tipo un puerco, una basura, una asquerosidad. Ew, 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 he's so disgusting. I've never wanted to date him anyways. I've never wanted to talk to him ever. I don't miss him. I don't remember he exists. What else? What else? What else? They're stupid. Well, they go on putting their dicks in literally like everywhere que da asco. Still as adults. Ew, 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 and then invades my privacy to see how I'm doing. And then once again wants to mock my polyamories and my polyamory and my celibacy. What else? 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 I'm bored. I'm bored. I'm bored. When I'm financially stable, I plan to travel the planet and meet people like Andy Williams. I'm excited about that. I miss dating Miss Keilany. This bottle's so pretty. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. That's the weather sounds right. I just burped. When I'm financially stable, I plan to travel the planet and meet people at risk. That's severe weather to me. I'm bored. I need a vehicle. I'm bored. Who's gifted me money today? What else? I want to get myself a vehicle. Let me get started. Le compro a todas las compras que se llama Velocidad Lexus in San Antonio with money that he steals from me because they suck his dick and I don't. Who? La policía lo conoce. Possibly better than his parents. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. At what time do they open tomorrow? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? El tipo es un puerco, una basura. I don't ever have to try to understand it. He doesn't mean anything to me. He's married to me through my siblings que lo violan. Entonces he wants to celebrate the anniversary with me and give me the occasional spanking while he's like the gato also with my siblings. I don't use drugs. I don't steal. I don't rape. I don't murder. I don't traffic people into some boring to them. What else? What else? What else? Opens at 9 a.m. tomorrow. If I can make it to the Catholic charity to get food some days, or to the what is the Guadalupe Church. I can make it to the Lexus dealership. No. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? And to H&M. What more? And what else? What else? What else? What else? Who's gifting me money today? They traffic people into sex slavery. Esto no se lo puedo hablar privately because even a conversation like that, but what's the difference? The dealership opens at the same time that the church that gives when there's food around the dealership. It wants me to pretend that he's my mother, trying to take Ramon's place in influencing him. What influencing is. What else does I understand that Coca-Cola can't turn into Bud Light? What else? What else? What else? What else? I want to stay at a hotel tonight and watch TV. Even the embassy suite downtown. Really cute. How much is that one? What else? What else? What else? It killed Gloria Nirsa because, to my knowledge, Gloria Nirsa never took her on a date, and that's for like sueltita, facilita. It terrorized my mother, who was already an orphan by the age of 6 and so abused by the family that took her in, and they preyed onto her, blaming her that my relationship with him didn't work out. Well, Gloria Nirsa had me paint with them individually, at least with 3 of them, or 2, for the artwork to be sold, for homes to be built, for vehicles to be bought, for like if I wanted like literally a Gran Turismo day in any part of the planet, And they went on to fill the homes with the illegal prostitutes que le maman el pene, que usan droga con ellos, que quieren matar a gente, que violan, que tienen primas galore. I don't have any cousins that are around my age either. So there's Comeback Accessory Asquerosidad that comes with more illegal prostitutes of like I have like 20 primas and I can give you the fantasy and this is a sex addict, a porn addict. So it's like, oh my god, 20 cousins together. Wow. And he thinks that after killing my mother, I'm gonna go on to be like, baby, thank you so much. Now finally we can be together. No, never. You can decapitate me, having sweater sons of sons that rape me, that's stealing money, that get in the way of your saving. What? So you didn't take my siblings to Disney after my birth. It killed my mother because it doesn't know how to ask a lady on a date when the lady has a marriage with kids. It said back then. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Kind of like Arlene have that baby with Edgar at my convenience, so I can rape you. Very girls. Ew, ew, ew. I had those babies when I felt like it. And he's a nobody to me. I like that outfit. So relatable. What else? I just burped. What else? You can decapitate me. I mean, sorry, sons, rape me, my money, they get in the way of your same money. And I'm laughing at the people that steal from me things. I'm very much happy as sexual to fight for. What virgin until thieves, murders, and rapists that are just like them. Told that like if it goes on pounding, I mean I'm just gonna get attached to it. What else? What else? What else? They don't understand what orgies are. They want to marry everyone that were in those rooms just for financial gain and extortion. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. When I'm financially stable, I plan to travel the planet and meet people ideally for I'm excited about that. Again, not the one on the river. Yesterday, today. If I can avoid it, if not, then you have an option. I don't want to be stressed. If it's just for sure and I can pick wherever. I want to watch TV. TV Guide was on. More about me. Did I get mentioned on a sitcom on NBC? COVID-19 coronavirus. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. What else? What else? What is 5 minutes? So I haven't watched anyone. I'm bored. 61. Wow. What else is the comedy? At the moment. What else? I'm bored. Financially stable. I plan to travel the planet and meet people. It's the only polyamorous. What else? Chicago Fire, Chicago PD. You know what I miss? advertising on TV going along. Juegos de amor y poder is not a telenovela en la jefa. ¿Quién es Carlos? No, this is so much into CSI. What else? ¿Quiénes lo toman? Solo dejan a Rosa Guadalupe. Amar donde amor te... Last Man Standing. What else? What else? What else? Storage Wars. I think I've watched an episode because I love the very quick dialogue of the auction process. What else? Family Feud, MasterChef. It's new episode. What have I missed? Before the Whose Line Is It Anyway is funny some days, but what? It has nothing. Do they blame TV? Have they heard Drew Carey and they're like, it's your fault that you have a TV show and that's why she doesn't talk to me? I have no TV right now and no desire to talk to him. La Rosa Guadalupe. No, no da neighbor, pero no le priva la teta. What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. Caso cerrado. I watch one or two episodes just for the fun of it. I want to watch Together Hotel Room. So, anyways, if I killed a girl at age 3, they put a knife in my hand. And at least one of these individuals carried machetes way into afterlife. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. She's alive. Tenerle un jodido tecato asqueroso trying to pair me with a female that he's obsessed, like being like, mwah, 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 mwah. Possibly for 5 minutes in an orgy. And I don't consider her attractive anymore. Y él se la pasa jodiendo y 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 jodiendo. Que he wants to see that happen again and it won't. He's embarrassed himself at people being around us and he'll be like, why don't you two start kissing each other? And people are like, no, don't say that around her. She doesn't see me that way. That was so long ago. And I'll politely like smile. Like, oh, interesting. I don't remember what that is. I don't even know that name. What else? 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 I'm bored and stuff. Bugs Bunny and Friends. Hollywood Squares. I think I've worn. Am I still on the news daily? What else? 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 What movie's The Boy from? That's the only movie impossible. What happened to the boy from Oklahoma? Dang, I forget that TV shows like very old movies sometimes. I'm expected to be. Though sometimes it's a treat to be like, oh, that movie just came out. The movie they're showing on TV. What? Mufasa. Fuck. Who said that Simba is bisexual? When there's Planned Parenthood. I'm bored. what are they? Like I read that Texas wants to add that to school instruction. You have me it is so like you should see yourself as a god. Eso dice la gente. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm born before the FBI was translated. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? You should not gaslight. You should not covet. Okay, okay. Oh, do we have a problem in Texas? What else? What else? We're after Carolyn. What? What else? Anyways, I am the horse I got. No, like, don't. What else? What else? Some people that don't believe me that I'm good in the FBI say that was a trick. And she keeps up with this. It's not like I am your. As Tyler was eating to Michael's and Hobby Lobby in that hobby shop. What else? I'm constantly all this time. What? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. What? Also, you shouldn't put like that slave maker, combine acquisitor, drug addict before you because it's gonna take you to the red carpet supposedly if you behave badly. What else? What else? What else? What else? I find this fascinating. You should not gaslight. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You should not covet your neighbor's wife. You shall not covet your neighbor's goods. What else? 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 Because there's some people that claim to be sent to school and that they're Christian. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? That doesn't excuse them from singing. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm born. I learned some from school. wanted to be. What else? What else? What else? What else got here? What is on? Tarot. I need to see a dentist. Well, this could be like Mother Goose. They keep order. They know it doesn't necessarily mean that some superpower respect that exists before this was written or read. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? God has in like the planet all the blessings that we have. What else? So you shouldn't get into illegal prostitution, drugs, aiding on people. What else? These are What else? I'm laughing. And behind the scenes, they would have accused me of cheating on a girl. Ito tipo una puerca decades ago when Jorge Village raped me. She followed up with me. She said, people are going to talk about you now. I'm like, uh-huh. So that was my response. I know. Your chismosa still is what I thought. So I blocked her from Snapchat. I'm like, ew, she's just stalking me then. Ew, ew, ew. They shared my vagina picture. What else? 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 They were trying to get me to kill myself. You can decapitate Jorge Aviles that raped me in 2016. You can decapitate Jennifer Bonilla that stays in my home without my permission. They legally prostitutes herself to my crushes. That steals my vehicles. That gets in the way of me receiving money. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I am bored. They're so cliche in their abuse. They get people are gonna talk. Ew, 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 ew. I assume they were already talking. So I'm near 9 I guess. What else? Using the restrooms. Well, Jennifer Bonilla takes videos of me saying that I'm going to the restroom soon and shows it to Salvation birthday. What else? What else? What else? What else? And says, yeah, she says he uses the restroom live on camera. Don't take her. Sin saber si somos compatibles esa persona y yo, ¿no? What else? 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 And do they say, for example, Ginny Gentalirita, le escribimos un review de ella? ¿Que Arlene es mala madre? No. Mira a un tipo cava tantos años sin saberlo. According to Gigi Gentilides, Arlene es una mala madre. Fuck me instead. I imagine that goes on a lot behind the scenes. They're worse than children. Full. In the meantime, I'm posting on Facebook. By 1999, I had at least 4 BMWs that I didn't get to drive. En esta convoca asquerosidad y legal prostitute. Se robó mis vehículos por mamarle el peje. They do the prices right. World and they use drugs. Some people that are in love or really abused. Didn't you see the BMW ad? Like I could be there tomorrow, San Antonio, and getting it with bad credit. But if I pay cash for the vehicle, it won't matter that I have bad credit. Ew, they want me to suffer because I didn't have a set of grandparents all growing up. So they think that they couldn't live with their abuelas. Guess what people did? They removed one of their grandparents. He can self-defense for me. For him terrorizing me. Ha ha ha, I don't like you because you didn't have a set of grandparents. I'm like, there's no family rivalry. You can't do that. I didn't want that. That was enough. I left my parents home, which my parents say that's the problem some days. That when they leave the home and they're like, according to the neighbors, he's been bragging and that I don't have a set of grandparents and they're planning on killing his grandparents. So is that an accident? I'm not gonna go out to find out. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Who is that? What, what else? What else says she has never had black dick? I'm not. It's not a competition. Honestly, some people die. I imagine. Yes, who did not rush to beauty prostitutes just to find black dick as if it's like some prize possession. What else? What else? What else? I'm horny, and I go to stay at a hotel to watch TV, and I gotta laugh again at these people I never think about. They're my siblings' significant others are trying to rape me. My siblings are very developmentally challenged because they're sex addicts and porn addicts. So these people are like, I'll have fun with the sisters. Y me dejan, like, quédate por allá. Quédate por allá. You already made a commitment to stupidity. Quédate solo with stupidity and the fear allows it. Pero entonces try to kill me and takes away years of my life. What else? What else? What else? What else? What is it? What is it? Regretting all the combacachucarosidad that it makes his penises, anuses, and mouths and vaginas that doesn't know how to behave like a woman. It's like that you have to exist and make them all look bad. So I don't even think they're attracted to me physically. They just see it as a challenge, as let's take her hostage, let's keep her here in the family like a prized possession, family secret. Porque doesn't Liam Baker threaten to kill them all the time? It's like, dude, stop getting in the way of her vagina. I have friends that want to meet her. She's not yours to keep. That was Dick. Now I'm more to what can't even say that. But the first company it was next to the illegal prostitutes on service. And they're like, who? I'm gonna talk to him. Weeks later, they're like, the love is a messenger. They're like into illegal prostitution, like I thought. They're like actual serious people. I did clickbait one. What else? They don't know how to do respect. They don't know how to do polyamory. I don't care what that penis has been as long as it washes it. They don't understand that because they're not in it for that. They're in it for the money, for the status, for what it can bring to it. It's like ya tú me cansas, yo voy a estar contigo, pero cuando yo consiga un novio a los 60 años te voy a dejar. Y así se la pasan toda la vida. Because they're like, yeah, I'm a loser, that I married my relative that was so close. They don't understand orgies, they don't understand respect, they don't understand love, they don't understand relationship. Everything is a status symbol of what will people think about me. How cool or sexy do I look to people based on every micromanagement decision that I make. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. I would have been happy if there was a mindset that they all have a that I liked. Well, some of them everything that was nice to live with there every day. I like that here. Just for the coffee, just for fun. Maybe. But it's not like a priority for me. I think virginity is a thing. When I was a baker, I didn't remember having touching a penis before. Very lucky. That all of these people were around me, raping me prior, trying to get in the way. Yeah. bored. I'm bored. Anyways, I want to stay at a hotel tonight and watch TV. It's 15 I'm tired. I've been out of my apartment every day seeking for food. For real, like give me my vehicles, give me back my money. Stop being so disgusting. Oh, for people that claim to be Catholic and they're killing, they don't understand that Catholic doesn't kill. Oh, for real, they're bigots. They're so gross. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Ew. I'm bored. I'm bored. I miss you. I miss you more. I'm gonna shop at H&M tomorrow. I need a look. I wanna take myself dancing to garden on Friday. What else? 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 More. What else? What else? What else? It's ladies' nights on Saturday. That's fun. I used to like the music on school. Who's gifting me money today? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Who is gifting me money today? What else? You can decapitate everyone and visit a nightclub because my hair is gray. They're disgusting. Y él no se mira, people say, tú no te miras, que tú tienes ya pelo gris. Y tú lo que quieres es violarla a ella. Like, people have to talk to him at this age like that. Ew, da un asco. Asco. So when I was sort of miserable of enemy people ideally polyamorous men, there's no such thing as pursuits of between the like the definitely were people that behave like that towards me. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. After he's been putting his dick everywhere, no quiero see that. And stealing my money today. Fo. Yo lo que quiero que se rasura el pene y se lo corte. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. KK. I want to break for waffles. What else? That's what I'm looking forward to. Watching TV. What else? I'm bored. What else? When I'm financially stable, I plan to travel the planet and be people I do everything else. You can decapitate my homies. They want me to get cancer. They want me on a wheelchair for my siblings to bathe. They want me anywhere because when I was a toddler, I couldn't even leave my parents' home. They're sick. They're disgusting. Ew. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. What? What else? I'm bored. When do I receive money? I'm bored. I'm bored. I've been posting on Facebook today. I shower, I got of hot water in the home. You can decapitate my homie. That rape me, that steal my money, that get in the way of your save money retaliation. For me not having sex with them, he's trying to traffic me into my parents' home along with Jennifer Bonilla, Angela Jansky, and Asco, trying to turn me in. They're so gross, they're stupid. So I'm like, what the fuck is that? They sent an invite regardless. Oh, my kid was already in kindergarten. What? I'm bored. You can decapitate Angela Jones. You can decapitate Jennifer Bonilla. You can decapitate Marion Suarez Lorenzo's son. Trying to rape me. I was, and they think that I'm good planning a date and a wedding and everything. Like, wow, déjame rasurar, me voy a enseñar, seré seducirlo. He does not exist in my ever. I don't ever think about him. He's disgusting. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. When I'm financially stable or plan to travel the planet and meet people, ideally polyamorous men. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They killed Gloria Nirsa trying to blame her. They're stupid. Ew, 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 ew. I am bored. I am bored. My siblings were upset that my parents didn't take them to Disney. After my birth, supposedly they may have drugged me. So they're like, sure, I'll help you in killing our. If it was her birth that prevented, they go on recruiting people into Disney or put her in a wheelchair so she can date. They stay in my homes without my permission. They steal my vehicles. They get in the way of me receiving money. They steal my money. They're bigots, so gross. I don't ever want them near me. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I have no obligation ever to have sex with them. I just arrange a marriage for me with them. So that was against my will. So else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. What else? This is so slow. You can decapitate Evelyn Lorenzo Acevedo. That's an embarrassment. You can decapitate Gilbert Lorenzo Acevedo. That's so gross. You can decapitate Marilyn Lorenzo Acevedo. That's trying to rape me. That steals my money. That stays in my homes without my permission. That steals my vehicles. And then goes on behind the scenes raping this. And then wants to brag que todas las veces que quedó con él en mi casa. Todas las veces que la llevó y que a bailar. They're animals on top of each other and they take each other out to dinner. And and traveling just trying to avoid going to jail for rape. They're sex addicts, they're porn addicts, they're very gross, they traffic people if you're not careful. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. When I'm financially stable, I plan to travel the planet with people ideally polyamorous men. What else? What else? Ya esto está tan completo, obviously. Oh, it's not even available to me right now. So I'm appalled that I even have to bring them up right now. Deja que de Chandel me recordé en el 2000, 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25. They're snoopers, they're stalkers. They see two people smiling at an orgy, they really need to keep that separate. And they recruit people. They're like, dale, Berlin, there's Dick, Galdea CPN, Lady Rose Miller, Galdeale CPN, Yandel. Huh? You can decapitate Katie Rose Miller. You can decapitate Berlin Jean. You can decapitate John Del Moravec. He stays at my home without my permission, steals my vehicles, gets in the way of me receiving money, pays people illegally to misrepresent me, or has drugged me on purpose. What else? 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 I'm bored. I'm bored. They want fame. Ew. They want fame. Dan un asco. He fakes having a relationship with Jayden and Keilany after people's nudes. All of them. They fake having a relationship with Emily Lorenzo after people's nudes. They're like, who else did you meet? Introduce it to me. Ew, so disgusting. They're disgusting. So gross. In the meantime, I'm sending my girlfriend becoming to people through Instagram. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. When I'm financially stable, I plan to travel the planet, meet people, ideally polyamorous men. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? You can rape me and steal my money. They're gonna know I receive money. That's ableism to terrorize me, get a pussy picture of me, and scold me that why would I send my picture to that. They're stupid. Every fucking telenovela that they've seen, they try to recreate with real life people, even if it costs their mother's death or their health. Dan un asco. They're embarrassing, so gross. I don't ever want them near me. You can decapitate Oliver Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Jimmy Gendalides Lorenzo Suarez. You can decapitate the sons that rape me, that steal my money, and get no mercy. May 28, 2025. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I am bored. I'm recommending to people through Instagram. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I missed it. I missed getting this person earlier, possibly from a different account. So I won't search this person right now. What else? I'm bored. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. What else? Deja que se recuerde ya. And they raped him there, trying to get my attention, trying to rape me. What for? He's just a guy that I saw at an orgy once. Like, we must keep them apart and we must rape them. They're embarrassing. They're so gross. Ew, 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 ew. What else? 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 They're disgusting. For what else? You can decapitate millions, hundreds of sons that rape me, that steal my money, that get in the way of me receive money, that steal my homes and steal my vehicles. They're stupid. They're so gross. They retaliate because I don't want sex with them ever. They hire legal prostitutes. They do drugs. Think that way about me. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? there's home invaders in my home. Quite literally, I'm under the impression that I have a home where I can be polyamorous, and he stole it from me because I'm too slow to ask him out on a date, which I don't have any obligation to do so. Or he knows that I'm not gonna ever take him out on a date to stay in my home to pretend me. They interchange at her, so sometimes Alex pretends to be me. Sometimes Andrew would wear a onesie and pretend that he was Keilany before Keilany was born. What sickness is that? And then they're still begging me for sex while they do the wrong thing. They're embarrassing. Ew, I don't ever want that near me. In the meantime, I miss when my apartment was this clean. What else? 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 Who's gifting me money? Who's gifting me money? What else? What else? What else? Gifting me money. I miss cooking a grilled cheese for myself. What else? What else? What else? What else? Bored. I'm bored. I'm tagging the FBI in this post. They're trying to traffic me into my parents' home to rape me while he takes out the illegal prostitute with the money that he steals from me. He's trying to put me, and they're trying to participate in that shit. They're disgusting. And, or he's trying to put me on a wheelchair or gonna get cancer where my siblings would pay. Okay, it's a illegal prostitute. What is it? A porn addict. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate everyone that gets in the way of me receiving money. You can decapitate everyone that steals my money. You can decapitate everyone that steals my homes and that steals my vehicles. You can decapitate everyone that stays in my homes without my permission. You can decapitate everyone that steals my vehicles. What else? What else? What else? I'm extremely overwhelmed. I have like at least 200 people that I need to kill in self defense. What else? What else? What else? What else? So I'm asking the FBI to kill like about 1,000 because they have kids, they have siblings that I haven't met, they have significant others that possibly stalk me, that are really significant others. They all know someone. They possibly keep acquiring more junkies. You can decapitate Brittany Akers. You can decapitate Morgan, who stays in my homes without my permission, steals my vehicles, gets in. What else? What else? They're so disgusting. You get junkies, asco. It's 2025, you know the sign. What? What else? What else? Anyways, I think to who's James Moore? What else? Wellness. I cook for myself and baked. I want bubbles from my bubble bath. What else? 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 I'm bored. What do I does Johnson and Johnson produce bubbles like I want that smell? Is this oh fun I got this winter? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. There's a quick lavender bubble bath that may be good. It may have good reviews. I got this and Ortiz. This one. What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. It has good reviews. And then I need to replace the keys of my apartment as well as I equal east, which I have no. I don't have the keys to my home. I have home in Bakeling. Then I don't want to overwhelm my dad with, do you remember who stole the key to my home? What else? 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 I'm bored, so when I'm financially stable, I'll just ask a lawyer to see what's on my property out there. What else that's in my name that it's in my name of someone else? And get me it. Who's gifting me money? I hate having past due. What else? What else? What else? He's trying to give an impression of I'm still a toddler. What else? 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 To show how irresponsible and while he steals my artwork, while he gets in the way of me receiving money, while he steals my vehicles. He's disgusting and he thinks that I'm gonna take him out a date? Fool. No, never. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. Well, the illegal prostitute is. This is why he steals my money and loves that this is public. Porque hoy está, yo lo menciono desde que puse el picture there on Facebook. They're like, oh no, y me tengo que poner en cuatro más a menudo para que ella no me lo quite. So they start husband. I must get an all fours. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. Dan un asco. Dan un asco. They're embarrassed. They're so gross. I'm bored. What else? What else? What else? What else? Who's gifting me money? Who's gifting me money? They're trying for me to lose my bank account number. Get my bank account number. Because a toddler wouldn't have a debit card. He's mentally ill to a grossness that I don't ever want him near me. He's disgusting. He wants his picture out there for social media. He's possibly been getting invites from people. Ew, ew, ew. El tipo es un puerco asqueroso. I don't ever want that near me. What else? What else? What else? What else? Who's gifting me money today? I hate having past due bills. It stresses me out. This wants me to have my. It's disgusting. I don't ever want it near me. I miss it. I miss it. What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. You can decapitate everyone that gets in the way of me receiving money. You can decapitate everyone that gets in the way of Jayden and Keilany living with me. You can decapitate everyone that steals from me. You can decapitate everyone that stays in my homes without my permission. You can decapitate everyone that steals my vehicle. Mostly everyone in my family of origin is an illegal prostitute, murderers and thieves. So girls, they thought would remember that Jandel is this like superstar. That one can Google his net worth. They don't know how to gauge and tell her. They're laughable. They're so gross. Son un hombre, son una basura. Ew, 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 ew. What else? What else? What else? Today, his net worth isn't even available. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Dan un asco. Te dan un asco. What else? What else? What else? What else? Dan un asco y están peleando $285. Dan, they're peseteros. Full. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. You can decapitate Rachel that holds me back financially. What do you think? What else? What else? What else? Dan un asco. He possibly has money to date me. Possibly doesn't give me my portion of it. Trying to kill me so that I'm not with anyone else. That's a relative of my dad. Full, 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 full. For real. Prototype baby, people say. It's like whatever, give him all the money, it's gonna be pretty. Darling, take that one. What else? 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 For real. Get asked, they subject themselves to the crime like, oh honey, I can't do this. And he has money for me to date him. And that was last chance, dude, because as an adult, that was it. He was very distasteful as a child. What else? What else? What else? What else? They do that to then have some sort of chisme to talk to with the illegal prostitutes. Then they pick up the phone and say, Nena, ni tenía panty puesta. He possibly recorded me having sex with him and shares it with the whole town of Aguada. Well, I barely had money for food. I only had like a few bucks in food stamps. What else? What else? A drug addict too? Oh, what is this? It's my happiness on Instagram right now. What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. That purple's so pretty. I'm saving this. What else? Ya se me olvidó el problema que tengo. That's very normal. What else? 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 Let me make that PSA that I would still need money, though I don't want to be on a wheelchair. Pero I could break a leg sadly somewhere without wanting to. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Al que no le gusta este planeta que se vaya. People have given him decades ago to do assisted suicide in Switzerland. What else? 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 else? What else? Down to el pasaje, I've heard. Le dieron el dinero. If you don't like this planet, then just leave. Y deja de estar jodiendo la existencia a la gente porque stealing my home, stealing my vehicles, causing my starvation is an act that some people classify as like even the death penalty exists for the criminal acts that you're committing against Arlene, then you may just want to die. Anyways, the internet is this still. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm just checking if this is still live. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. Oh, I should add the family page. Okay, if I would still need money. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. Oh, anyway. That people gave them Benjamin Suarez, Salsa Sons, and Jenny Tendalidi Salsa Suarez need to do assisted suicide for because if they hate this planet so much. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I am bored. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. Who's gifting me money today? Who's gifting me money today? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm missing. I have fees that I need to pay. That's such a good look. Ooh, Converse is the bummer. What else? Those are pretty. What else? I'm bored. Bah. What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. And I need to pay for my electricity. That is past due. What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. Anyways, when I'm financially stable, I plan to travel the planet maybe before I get married. What else? 9:50. I'm tired. I want to stay at a hotel today. What else? 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 I'm bored. I need money. So. What else? What else? What else? What else? When I'm financially stable, I plan to travel with fun and meet people I do. I miss Jayden and I miss Keilany. I need a new bus pass soon. What else? 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 I'm bored. I'm bored. My bus pass expires in 2 days and 18 hours. You can decapitate everyone that's trying to get me to illegally cross. They don't know how to gauge intelligence. They're stupid. They think that at any point, the FBI hopefully knocks on their door and takes them out and puts them in jail and then kills them in self-defense. For me, for causing Jayden and Keilany to be separated from me by stealing my home, stealing my money, stealing my vehicles, getting in the way of me receiving money. What else? 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 They're stupid. They're stupid. They're way fun. Ew, ew, ew. What else? Money. This from Keilany. You can decapitate that's trying to rape me. You can decapitate Marilyn Lorenzo that's trying to rape me. Receiving money pretending that I'm a toddler. They want credit that when I was a toddler, I did my toddler exploration with them, supposedly in orgies. They want to for people to have that street cred that they're like oh so sexy. You can decapitate Jayden Lorenzo steals my money, stays in my homes without my permission, and steals my vehicles. He's so disgusting. In the meantime, Miss Jayden and Miss Keilany for birthday parties, quinceañeros, bat mitzvahs, bar mitzvahs, your mother's funeral, if you need it. And the day that you're born and you want to satisfy you. I'm never satisfied. I won't ever seek it. I find it so disgusting. Does it arrive in my candidacy as a stripper book? I think it has an artist license. What else?